Welcome to the Business Bear Podcast, Garrett County Business Development's local business marketing podcast, hosted by me, local radio personality and the voice of Garrett County, Connor Norman. Why Business Bear? Well, not only are black bears famous in our community, but the acronym actually stands for something. It stands for Business Expansion Assistance and Retention Podcast. So on this show, we sit down and spend 15 to 30 minutes talking with our local business owners, state partners, and economic development professionals in Garrett County. It's our hope that you learn a lot, and we'll try to have some fun while we're at it. So stay tuned and buckle up. Let's get this show on the road. Today we've got an exciting guest, and this guy's all about the collectibles. That's right. His name is Casey Kamp, the owner of the Pharm in Grantsville. My friend, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic, Connor. A little raspy. Been herding the kittens with the youth league wrestling and still doing the high school stuff, but I think my voice is ready to go today. I'm feeling good.
You sounded good
from the last week or so, but I'm ready to rip into this and excited to share what we have going on in Grantsville.
Nice. Well, I'm excited too, because last week I had the opportunity to go and see the Pharm for the first time, and I was honestly stunned and impressed. I am so blown away by what you have available up there, and it's so exciting to be sharing it on the podcast today, because I know our listeners are constantly looking for things to do in our community. They're tuned in to when new businesses come online, and they want to know what's out there available for me, my family, and everyone to get involved with. And now for those people that have a collective bent, that are into sports, Pokemon, hobbies, this is the place for you. And let me tell you, it is one of the most unique businesses, not just in our area, but in the region. Businesses like this, do you think it's fair to say you kind of drive hours to get to?
Oh yeah, we already have people traveling that want to come in. It was funny because when I first got the building, location was just fantastic, and a lot of people, oh man, are you gonna do a restaurant? Are you gonna do this? And I said, man, can we have something around that's different? The kids are gonna enjoy,
absolutely.
The parents can enjoy. I thought it was gonna be all kids, but you find out a lot of adults and everybody besides just the children are collecting. I've been a collector for practically my whole life, probably 30 years. Started as a kid, the wax junk era, having lots of King Griffeys and baseball cards and all the good stuff. And then, took a break, you get to high school, but I was still collecting, them Tom Brady's and had a lot of good stuff at that time that I was collecting that a lot of my friends and stuff, they were into their team, Steelers or whatever it would be. And I kind of was into the most expensive guys, which at that time was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, things like that. And, fast forward to the COVID era, 2020 happened in that time, and when that happened, everybody got into their closets. They were digging up their old cards, and it rekindled the whole collecting era of kids and guys and everybody, and it kind of reboomed. And of course, I was one of them. I dug through my collection and found out I had some really expensive, good stuff. And at the time, this is a quick funny story of kind of what rekindled all this. I went to a card show and took my cards to the card show.
Yeah.
I kind of manifested it that morning. I was on the way to the Hagerstown, actually Greencastle.
Okay.
And I'm driving, and I'm thinking to myself, I was trying to buy a piece of property, and I needed cash that day. And I was like, man, if I sold one or two or three of these big cards, it would help, but it wouldn't, make anything different. I thought to myself, by myself, and I said, but if I could sell this whole collection, I could do it. And I got there, and no kidding, I get set up, Connor, and I'm ready, and this gentleman walks up right before it's even open. He had a little backpack on. He come up and pointed at like one or two of my really good cards. He said, how much for this one? I was like, oh, that's a really good card. It's a $2,000 card. This is a Tom Brady, $3,000. And he said, okay, and just walked away. And I was like, that was strange. About 10 minutes later, the owner of the guy that put on the card show brings that guy back over, and he says, Casey, I want you to meet... I can't remember his name off the top of my head. It's DMV Collectibles owner. Brandon was his name. And he says, hey, Brandon wants to buy your whole table. And I thought to myself, that drive that I had that morning. And so now what happened at that time, I was excited. And sure enough, he buys the collection. And he bought it for a very large number for what at the time I thought, $25,000 what it was actually. And I was, wow, man. I mean, at the time I'm thinking,
holy smokes.
Yeah, I'm blown off. I'm out of this card show 15 minutes later. I pack everyone's like, where? I'm like, I just go on my table and they're like, congratulations. Everyone's like, you were that was great.
Yeah.
And so I get back into my vehicle and I'm taking pictures of the check. I'm sending it to my, I'm all excited. And then all of a sudden I start having these memories of being in, middle school and being at the lunch table and making these trades and all these cards that I had sentimental value. I'm no kidding. I get out my phone. I start purchasing cards on eBay that I had I was like so distraught and had seller's remorse.
Yeah.
It was like a part of me was like, oh my gosh. And the guy who bought him, he got a really good deal. I probably had double that amount in value, which is crazy to say, but I did. And so he made out, but never was I going to get a check for $25,000. If I would have branched all them out and tried to sell them one by one, you know how that is. If you get a large chunk, you can invest and do something. If you just get 100 here, it's hard to make money. That's with true. Money. Yeah. So it worked out, but it also rekindled my collecting. At that time, I was wanting to get out. I was going to sell it all, and selling all those memories and everything I had been through, I was like, wow. And I got back into it. I started buying from, different card shops around the areas and started getting back into it. And it became a passion. And I do believe everything I kind of do, I have a couple different things I like to do and as far as business and stuff, but I love everything I do. And I think that's important.
That's good. Absolutely.
So when I was doing this I was decided to say, hey, I'm opening up a card shop in here. I can do this. And I had a lot of people looking at me being like, dude, you're going to do a what? How are you going to make money? And I thought to myself, well, I'm not going to lose. I mean, I feel like anything I really wanted to do and set my brain to, I think I can do. And I was like, if I enjoy it every single day when I go into this card shop, I mean, I just feel like I can't lose that way. No. I'm excited about it. I love what I'm doing. And once again, it's rekindled off of me trying to get out of it. And now I'm into it more than ever. And I think that's what got me passionate and back excited to do what I'm doing. So
yeah, that's spectacular, and thank you for sharing that story there. It's nice to understand the passion and the inspiration behind why you opened the store today, and it's really cool to go and to kind of have that thrill of being able to take something you've collected for years and turn it into a real life benefit.
Sure.
But also, you said it there. I think that kind of buyer's remorse. You want to stay in the field. You want to continue to collect, but you want to share that with people in our community. And I can tell you, quite honestly, from an economic development standpoint, the times have changed. People really enjoy what you're offering right now. And the fact that we now have a business like yours in the community is going to be thrilling to a lot of people, again, that are traveling to Morgantown. They're traveling to Cumberland. Sometimes they're going up to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and even further to attend shows, trade shows, to be a part of this. So to have a regional hub now that's going to have top quality collectible cards and so much more. You have so much more on the shelves there. We'll dive into that in just a second. This is going to be a big deal. So again, congratulations on this new business, and we're looking forward to getting the word out there and getting people in those doors. Because again, you really will be surprised and stunned when you walk through those doors.
Sure.
Because you put a lot of effort into it. And so when you bought the property, did you immediately know that's where my card shop's going?
So I there was a couple ideas I had bounced around, but like in the back of my mind, it was like always there. It's like I kind of need to get confirmation from my wife and everybody, mainly just my boss and my wife. But the one thing I think that people realize now is, when I was collecting as a kid and stuff, you'd have all these great cards, but it was like, how am I going to sell these cards? Where's the value coming from? Yeah. Nowadays with eBay and all these breaking points and even card shop, even myself, I mean, if people want to turn their old cards into money, they can bring them in. And in the past, it was so hard. You could say, oh, this card's worth such money, but like unless you get that money, it's really not worth anything. And so nowadays, I think there's so many outlets for people to actually sell their collectibles and turn them or buy and flip and things. So it's it's really rekindled. I think, because of the idea of you can sell your stuff, you can get rid of cards, and there's that. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It was never like as big as it is now. I'm sure we'll get into some breaking later when I say that, but that's really changed the whole market of cards as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it makes me regret all of the years that I had boxes upon boxes of hockey, baseball, football cards, and
the Pokemon.
Oh,
That's what everyone's. Those
are the big ones right
They're
now.
like, oh, my old Pokemon collection. Everyone has that story about a Pokemon, and when they were, 10, 11, 12, and they had the Charizard Hollows, and they had the everyone has that story, man. And
oh yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody had gotten rid of them, or left them behind and went to college, or they got sold at a yard sale, and everyone can beat themselves up about something they were collecting, and out this time it's no longer around. But the Pokemon, I hear a ton about.
Oh, there's a lot of regret built in around that. Yeah, definitely. Sure. I mean, I have heard friends upon friends that have gotten rid of collections, and like you said, prior to stores like yours, I mean, there really wasn't a collection point for fans and enthusiasts to kind of go and say, hey, maybe what's this valued, sure. or hey, can we play with the cards? Yeah. Like, what can we do here? So you're in the community now. You have access to these communities now that trade, buy, sell, and of course play. Going into the shop, let's kind of break it down exactly what you can find there when you walk through the door. Let's say it's my first time walking in. What are some things that I can expect?
So as soon as you walk in, you're gonna see a ton of memorabilia, signed baseballs, signed basketballs. These are authentic, lots of helmets, jerseys. I kind of ran into some nice estate sales and picked up a lot at one time.
Wow.
And they're beautiful. I mean, some Frank Thomas's, Jose Canseco's, all the big names, Dr. J, Carl Malone, stuff like that. And people a lot of times, buying or not, they just love to see this stuff. They're like, oh my gracious.
Yeah.
I had a great young lady from the town of Grantsville. She dropped off some old stuff that she just had no interest in, and it was like old brochures from the 40s and 50s of like baseball pamphlets and stuff, and people just want to see that stuff. It's we were digging and come across some really, really cool stuff in there. And some of the guys that come in that like the older baseball players, the old Nolan Ryans and Jackie Robinsons and Mickey Mantle, all that stuff. You used to get digging through these old pamphlets and stuff, and it's like, no way. And some people get more excited about than others, but that's in there. We have tons of wax, and we're getting more and more of that every week. The one thing I have a ton to offer is the singles. I have lots of high end, low end, every sport, and even down into the Magic the Gathering, the Pokemon stuff. So the kids that like to actually play the trading card game stuff. Yeah. I have lots of outlets for that. And then just your random, a couple, figurines. I got like a display case of like the WWF, a bunch of Hulk Hogan stuff.
Nice.
I mainly stick with the card stuff, but I do have some, odds and end collectibles, a couple autographs of some goofy guys. My buddy went to down to Smoky Caverns, or down in Tennessee, or what's that? I'm trying to think of Smoke Hole Caverns?
Smoke Hole, maybe? Yeah.
Something like that, but in Tennessee, and he brought back, the Turtle Man was there. And so he got a bunch of Turtle Man on, and I'm like, yeah, we'll put him up in the shop. And so I got a little bit of everything for any kind of collector. You don't have to just necessarily be into sports. We're going to try to make it more of, you don't have to come in and buy a car. You want to come in and sit down, hang out, talk, watch TV. I'm going to have a TV up in there, hopefully have some sports going on and stuff. And I just want people to feel like there's somewhere to go hang out that's not your just normal local bar or place like that. We have plenty of great places like that, and I want to have just a different outlet for people.
Absolutely.
And even the people that want to play the actual games of Pokemon and the Magic. I haven't doubt into that Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but there's a big market for all that stuff. But the basement is 4,000 square feet as well, wide open, and we're gonna have tables set up. We're not at that point yet, but hopefully we'll be able to attract kids from Cumberland all the way up to Morgantown to be able to come and play these big Magic battles. And it's funny because I just posted a picture of some of the older stuff that I had that I was an older collector, and I didn't sell any of that when I sold my big collection. I had some good stuff in there, and some people come in and were really impressed. And then I found out how many people around here play Magic the Gathering or do Pokemon. Yeah. It blew my mind because when I was growing up, it was a West Coast thing. Kind of Wizard, where they make them cards, is actually in San Diego, I believe, but it's in California. And it kind of is on the West Coast and slowly made its way back. my mom actually had met a guy from California, and he had moved back this way. And he actually introduced me at a young age, but it was never here. So when I was here collecting those cars, there was nobody collecting them. You know, maybe a kid had a pack or two, and but nobody was actually playing the game and actually was doing it. So I didn't realize it had grown, and it's all, you know, it's grown over the years. I mean, now they used to produce about one set a year at most. They do like 6 or 7 now. It's like they're so popular and everybody's buying them. There's tons of people coming in about that, which surprised me, but I'm excited about because I'll even play a little Magic the Gathering myself. So I thought that was fun. We actually, it won't be this coming Friday with Thanksgiving and everything, but the following Friday, I think it's December 5th. I'd have to look, but anyway, the following Friday, I have a Facebook page we're going to post about our first Magic the Gathering night and just get people together to come in, bring their cards in. I'm not at the point where we're buying the new decks and putting them together and battling that night, but I want kids just to bring in what they have. Let's play some Magic. Let's have some fun. Let's meet each other. Kind of get a congregation of people going, and just some talking, and a little camaraderie, and just get that going with everybody. And I think we could start to grow that and have, every week a gaming night kind of.
Absolutely.
And get everybody in there. And I think that would be great for our area as well. So.
Definitely. For the hobbyists out there, this is a safe and comfortable space. Where they can gather, you can feel comfortable with your kids being there. You can feel comfortable, whether your kids all the way up to adults going there and just having a good time, enjoying the hobby that, again, a lot of people have had their whole lives, but, maybe didn't quite know they could travel and see the communities there.
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't know, oh my gosh, there's a pretty vibrant community right here in Garrett County that plays these games. Yep. I often feel like I missed the boat when it came to Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, when it came to Magic the Gathering. While I'm aware of these things, I never got involved, and it's kind of regretful because almost all my friends had decks, and they could play. Sometimes I feel like I'm too dumb to understand how these games actually work. But for people brighter than me, which is most people, it's been a real great source of entertainment and just fun. And again, you can collect them, you can trade them, you can sell them, and there's just a big industry built around it.
So and it's a way to be competitive without maybe you weren't into basketball, maybe you weren't into sports, and you could say, I got this deck though. You want to sit down? We can battle. So it gives a competitiveness to everybody. Anybody can be involved with it, no matter who you are. But it takes it kind of. Your brain, when you put these decks together, you do got to be pretty smart, but I have put together decks, so it's not impossible. So, I'm not the smartest guy either when it comes to that, but some of these, I actually had a gentleman named Bruce, he come in from Grantsville there the other day, and I don't know much about him yet. We just kind of met, and he brought a couple of his newer decks in, and I got playing. He beat me up a couple times, and I was like, man, I really got to get my decks back together here, because, he's a smart kid, though, in the way, the newer cards, they have so much ability and new stuff to kind of follow, which is sometimes tough to track and stuff, but I had a great time playing, and it's interesting. But anybody really can do it. That is one thing nice about the Magic stuff. It's a little hard to get going, but once you kind of figure it out, I think even someone like myself, I was considered, I guess, a jock. I love to kind of geek it up with my buddies and get down there and play some, Magic the Gathering as well. So that's always fun. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's a great time. Like you said, I think it's good competition, and again, it's something just people can get involved with rather easily. Yeah. I think the only card I think I was ever aware of, I don't even know what game it is, Pot of Greed. Does that make sense to you?
I'm sure. It might have been a little newer card.
So people were saying it was the most broken card. I forget whatever game it was.
Okay.
It was just the most ridiculous looking thing ever. But anyway, I digress here. So now if somebody has, a collection now and they wanted to, come and talk to some fellow enthusiasts, or maybe they wanted to understand what their collection or where their collection may have value. Can they come in and show you the cards and go over that with you?
100%. I tell it people all the time, even if you don't want to sell them. Say you want to come in and just kind of, hey, do I have anything of any value that I should keep an eye on, or get in some hard cases, or kind of take better value of or better care of? The condition of the cards is very important. I think everyone knows that. So the older ones and the new ones, a lot of times people bring in something, and I'll say, hey, man, you got something great right here. First of all, you get this in a nice case, start taking care of this ASAP.
Yeah.
And normally, I offer a percentage of what they bring in, normally around 85% of what the value of the most recent comp sale is. And just depending on what they have, bulk or, it kind of depends what they bring. But I can always tell them, what they kind of got, what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And if I can't help them out, who's the next best place, or, an auction site or somewhere where they can get their best bang for their buck kind of thing. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is that there is outlets for those. They always just say, oh, what am I going to do with them? Well, it takes, a little bit of time and effort, but you can, get rid of these cards. There are ways to make money and turn your old treasure into gold, I guess you could say. So.
Yeah. Well, that's spectacular. So, if you have that box sitting in the closet, maybe it's time to break it out, head up to the farm,
Sure.
And meet some people that are going to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And, maybe reignite the passion for themselves. I can see a lot of people that say, well, now that a community here exists, I can get into this stuff again and start to trade and buy and, start to play the game again, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm community oriented for sure. I want this to be a place, a hub for people. I want people to hang out. I want them to feel like they can come there anytime, have a good time, and give everybody a place to hang out. I do know a lot of people travel. Morgantown's probably the closest place a lot of people travel to play these games. There are some nice card shops around in the local area, but to play these games and do different things, a lot of people have to kind of travel to do that. So I'm just looking forward to getting the community together, finding out who's involved. I know I'm just getting started. We're kind of a little soft opening right now. We haven't really dug in, and got everything really going. It's kind of just been learning the ropes, getting my credit card machine going, getting everything. It's kind of, I just jumped in with 2 feet. I didn't really know what to expect. So, the first, it's been great. The weekends have been really busy for me. I'm getting great support from the community, which I'm so grateful for. And I just want to keep making it better for everybody that comes in. And so that's where I'm at with it. And we're excited to keep rolling with it.
That's exciting. Well, I have to say again, I've been utterly impressed. And, when we were in there talking earlier last week, you had mentioned something kind of unique to your shop that you'll be doing in addition to all of these things. You're going to be hosting kind of a show, as I understand. You're going to be breaking decks. You're going to be online. You've got a whole setup there. Tell me a little bit and tell our listeners what breaking a deck is and what kind of show we can see coming out of the farm.
Yeah, so they call it breaking, and we'll be breaking. It's what it is opening up large amounts of sealed wax or repack cards, and I'm thrilled to do this. So it's going to give me a chance to get my my character on screen, which a lot of people are interested to see that. There'll be a camera on us, and so it's almost like a podcast. We'll be talking back and forth, whoever's with me working that day. And so we'll have out a big group of cards, a bunch of, say, 30 boxes of cards. And,
okay.
I get an audience on screen. Hopefully, I develop that within time. People that want to keep coming back to my show because they see the entertainment. They're getting good cards. They're having a good time. And so we'll break the cards. And how it works, there's several ways to set it up. But you basically get random teams. You bid starts at $1, and depending on what you're breaking, people think there's more value or not, and you'll get a team. And say you ended up with the Washington Redskins, a great team for 2024. You'd be looking for like Jaden Daniel rookie cards and anything that comes out of Washington Redskins, or I'm sorry, the Commanders, you would get them.
Yeah.
And say the next, and that's at the end of the break. So you auction off 32 teams or however many, spots that you have in this break. And one person can get 3 or 4 spots. They can get 1. Spots will go cheap. Some will go more expensive. But then any card from the team that you got out of the randomized wheel, you get every single card out of the break. So there's people that win, and then there's people that lose. It's like you're taking a risk to get into this, but people love it because they're tired of going out and buying 3-4 boxes of blasters and not getting anything. With this, you're seeing 20-30 boxes, and maybe you get your favorite team. Maybe you get one of the better teams that have a rookie. The chances of you hitting one of those cards is a lot better than, say, you go to a local store and you get a couple boxes. You're looking at breaking 20-30 boxes at a time, and you're going to see on screen the good cards in that box. A lot of times there's what they call a case hit, and they're usually very valuable. You'll get to see someone in that break's going to hit that card today. when you break that amount, usually like you'll break a whole case of it. So when you go somewhere else, a lot of times they've already been dug through. Maybe the case hit's already been hit, and there's still 12 boxes there. People are just buying and buying. So when we break, you're going to see the big cards come out. People get excited. I'm going to be excited on screen. I break open a $1,500 card and somebody spent $20 to get in the break. It's like, yeah, man, you know.
Yeah.
And it's euphoric for the people involved. It's fun. And it just brings excitement to the collectors wanting to do it. And I'm excited for it. I'm sure I'm going to try to be entertaining, while I'm doing this. And what we're planning to do, and I can't wait to start getting out a little more information on this. Like the first few weeks of me doing this, I'm not interested in me trying to do well financially with this. I want to make sure people are doing well that show up, so they keep, hey man, I was on the Pharm's page. They were breaking. It was awesome. They were doing this. They gave away this. This guy got this card, and I want to get that rumble going, because once you develop a nice audience, people want to come back, and then it's very successful. You just got to have a good audience, and when you have a good audience, people see the spots going. They're like $20. It's easy when just give it a little swipe, and there you're in the game, and it's also exciting when you're bidding against someone for the spot you're trying to get, whatnot, and so it just adds a lot of excitement that never was there.
Yeah.
That's different, and you're also in a group with people. There's a chat. We're all talking back and forth. People know each other inside the chat, and so it's exciting for everybody involved, including me, who will be breaking.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to it, and I think there's a lot of people that know about it, that actually are around here that they're breaking with people across the country, and there's big breakers over in California and New York, and the big ones. Why not me? That's what I always say that when I meet speed bumps or things I got to try to do. It's like, well, if they can do it, why can't I? Why can't we be the best? And so with the community of people, I hope that they can come out and support me, even if they just want to watch the show and not even actually get into the break. I just once I start promoting it, I'd like to see the community people say, hey man, Casey's getting on tonight at 8:00. Let's just watch him. He's gonna be funny tonight. This will be a good time. And so hopefully my voice won't be wrecked from wrestling and all that.
Exactly.
From hurting, I always say hurting the kittens. I do the young bucks right now, and I'll have to watch because I'm a very passionate wrestling coach. So I get yelling a lot. I have to make sure my voice is always intact when I'm doing these live breaks for people. But I'm excited about it, and the people that are with me, I got some good guys that have been helping me. Matt Hetrick, Aaron Friend, some behind the scenes guys, Josh Lilly. I got some guys, Devin Wilhelm, my partner in crime with wrestling. We're all kind of wanting to get into this breaking and all help each other out. And kind of we hope that we have more than one. Hopefully this booth does well. We'll have 3-4 other ones that are, I can do football, you can do Pokemon. We can all have somebody breaking and doing that with the cards. So we're looking to grow and have fun with it. So
yeah, that's so exciting too. So I can't wait to be tuning into the show and just seeing I'm a big Tigers guy. I'm a Lions fan. I want to see if I can get those cards.
Yep.
But maybe I don't want to dig through tons and tons of the wax sealed cases.
Or maybe you don't like any of the other teams. Maybe you're just an Oriole fan and you're trying to get just all the Oriole cards. That makes it nice for people as well.
Wow, that is great. Well, and it's so unique too, and I'm glad that there's been this evolution of the game itself. And it's a really cool way for people to get engaged.
Sure.
And spend what they can, but also have a lot more fun with trying to get the cards that they really want to get.
Sure. Yeah, and that's another thing. I don't want to have these huge breaks where people get disappointed when they, I'm looking, I want people to spend $20-$30. If the hour or so of entertainment I'm on there, and if you didn't hit a card, hopefully you say, hey man, I had a great time. And a lot of people spend $20 on entertainment a lot of different ways. So, I think that I want to be entertaining. I want everyone to have fun with it. I don't want people to ever regret getting into the breaks and that kind of thing. I want everybody, especially in the beginning. If you don't hit a card, I promise you I'm sending you something in the mail either way. I want to make sure people are happy that showed up and are supporting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Well, and I can see that being pretty big when you get the kids involved with the Pokemon cards. Sure. And I mean, it's not just kids, it's adults. I can tell
Let's be honest.
I've got some friends, my age and much older that are that are into the Pokemon cards. I mean, they play it on their phone with the Pokemon Go. They have collections, and we've seen on the national level how crazy this can get. I mean, you see cards that go for millions. You see cards that are hotly contested. I mean, there are people like, the I'm probably going to butcher these names, but I show Speed and Jake Paul and Post Malone that are paying astronomical amounts.
So and that's what's fun when you're like when these first they'll let you know. They'll say, hey, there's a bounty on one of these cards for $1 million. And Post Malone, I think, put one for like $1 million or $3 million on a card that was coming out in the Magic. Well, guess what? Everybody went out and did. Everybody went out and bought some of it and was trying. And so the breaks, if you're looking to try to hit that big card, not saying it'll happen, but they say I'm pretty lucky when I open up cards. So the people involved,
that's what we want to hear.
Yeah, I got hot hands, they say. So hopefully we can hit a big card. I want to hit those big money cards, get people excited. Because when you do hit something big, your show obviously gets more popular.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of people think like, I want to open these cards and people just be like, I won. Like I did so good. I want everyone to show up. Everybody want to hit a big card. I'm there for everybody to win. And the more cards I hit and do well for people, the more they come back. So I want to make sure I'm hopefully hitting the best cards and getting people the most valuable ones they can possibly hit.
That is so cool. So if somebody wanted to tune in to the show, when do you think you'll be running it? And then what are the hours for the store itself?
Right now, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 12 to 6.
Okay.
Well,
Casey, that's pretty awesome, man. So tell me a little bit about the location. Where exactly can somebody find the Pharm?
So we're right on Main Street, Grantsville, 149 Main.
Okay.
So you can't miss it coming down through 40. We're gonna have a big red barn lit up sign where the old Beachy's Pharmacy sign actually used to be.
Okay.
Hung right there. You're not gonna be able to miss it. Hopefully by the time people hear this and they get around to coming down through Main Street, it'll be up and there and for everybody to see. It's gonna have a lot of good curb appeal, bright red, something.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody you can't miss as you come through town. Like I said, hopefully it'll be up sooner than later. So
that's spectacular, and I think you alluded to it a little right there. Why the Pharm? Tell me a little bit about the inspiration for the name.
Yeah. So I had a lot of different names I bounced around, but if you ever been through Grantsville and been at Beachy's Pharmacy, there's been this window right on the front there in the bricks. This is the pharmacy, and it's beautiful. It's stained glass. I mean. And even when I'm like, how could I ever remove that? I'm like that. And I remember Jerry and we were talking about it. He's like, what are you going to do with that sign or the window? And I was like, oh, I'm keeping it. And I think he was alluding that if you get rid of it, I would like it. I thought like, no way, man. I remember that because I actually lived across the street in them apartments. My parents actually owned that place. Late 80s, early 90s for a few years, and I actually live in that big apartment complex. It's like a Victorian, I forget what they call it right now, but it's been there forever, literally, I think since like the 1800s. And so I remember that as a kid, looking at that stained glass window with the pharmacy has always been there. And so we ended up coming up with a play on words. And we just with the Pharm, and I'm the camp. So we have a Pharm down in Appleton, and so the Pharm was like a play on words, and come on down to the Pharm, and so we're growing sports cards and collectibles, but so it was a play on words, but I never wanted to lose that authenticity of the pharmacy. Like even when I explain to people when there's where are you located, I'll tell them the 149 Main, and they're like, I'm like. Beachy's Pharmacy. Oh, okay. Everybody knows where Beachy's Pharmacy used to be. So, we stuck with the Pharm and the play on words simply because of that and in the tradition and what's been there for so long. So
that's so cool. And, I use that cliche all the time. I'll meet you down on the farm. Anyone that's listening that I've done a business visit, how are things on the farm? So when I call you, it's legitimate. How are things at the farm?
Come and get your fix. If you, it's kind of a play on words. I can't remember. My buddy had something he was saying. It was like kind of come and get your prescription or something. They want them cards. And I can't remember what he said, and it was funny. It was around the time that we were coming up with the name, and I wish I could remember the little slogan he threw on it. It was really funny, but it was play on like the whole pharmacy and getting like a script or something. You come down, get your script of cards or something like that. So we went with the Pharm, and I think it's unique. I don't think there's anybody around. They always kind of know once they figure it out why it's called that and kind of put it all together.
Well, you got to come on down to the farm, take 2 of these, and call me in the morning. And they're the cards, right?
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or you could play the fact of the actual farm animals. What I was going to do with the breaking is like if you do these repacks where you have you're guaranteed a certain amount of value in each card if you do a repack. So I'd take my downtowns, and so you'd say, hey, you're guaranteed 5 cards between 50 and 100. You're guaranteed 100, and so each one of them you could say, oh, these are the chicken, this is the pig, and this is the cow, and then of course the most expensive ones. Oh, and this is the holy cow. We just had a couple different ways we thought we could play on words and make it fun for everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's kind of a unique name for it too. I think it's honestly it honors the history of the building. It's kind of nice tie-in with the community, very on brand with the community, but also it's going to be something that I think in the future, many years from now, we're going to say, oh, the Pharm's where it's going on. For all your hobbyist stuff, you want to go to the Pharm. It's just a recognizable name. Mm-hmm. I think people are it's going to stick with people.
Sure.
And of course, it's going to keep people coming back.
Yeah. And we also going to have some trade buy sell nights where you can bring in your sports cards, get to know other collectors in the area if you're looking to trade some stuff, if there's certain guys you're looking for. I'm always into trading as well. If you have something you're looking for, I have in shop, and you got something that I possibly want to have in shop, we can make trades and things like that. But with the holidays coming up, I think we're going to be busy. I'm going to have a lot of giveaways, and I think I'm put together like some gift bags for like kids. Like the parent could come in, spend $20, get a blaster, a repack, couple packs, and be in a nice little holiday gift bag type looking thing. Yeah. And just give some people some options to because a lot of people come in and say, man, my son's into this or my daughter's into this. What do I get? Well, if they're into football, I'd recommend this $25 basket. They're going to get a lot of football, a lot of different chances, a lot of cards they might like. And it helps the parents to just be able to quickly come in and get a gift for their kids. So, yeah, we're going to have different things like that. And after kind of once I get the bearings under me, I think I'm going to have better ideas. We already have like this carousel. People will come in and there's 80 cards on it. You randomly get one. There's some cards in there worth $300-$400. Some are worth $10, $20. And each pool's $20, and you get to pick your random card. And as you do, people like that. It's suspense of getting big cards for that. I got in shop just different little giveaways and games and ways that you can be a winner if you stop at the Pharm. So
very cool. Yeah. Well, this is exciting for anybody that's looking to tie in with your news, keep up with the latest. Sure. Do you guys have like social media or a website? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook page. We're looking to do a website here. Like I said, we're still getting our feet under us, but the Facebook page is the Pharm.
Okay.
If you get on there and you follow the page, you get entered into different giveaways. When we did our soft opening, we gave away a LeBron James card, an Adley Rutschman, and a Will Howard 101. People like that kind of stuff. Being able to come in and just them showing up or liking a page puts them into a drawing. And so the Facebook page is our main source of getting the information out right now. I hope to have a web page and some other things going as well.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Casey. I really appreciate you coming here and sharing everything about the Pharm today. I think we've got an exciting new business that all of us can get behind here in our community, and we're happy to be spreading the word, and we're encouraging everyone to go down there. At the end of every program, I kind of give all of my guests, another moment. If they want to reiterate, if you want to make any announcements, maybe you want to just share your contact information again. Yep. What do you want to say?
So the Pharm, 149 Main Street, Grantsville. If you're looking to have some fun, come hang out. Just want to, just have a little camaraderie. Please stop by. Let's have some fun. Look forward to having my break station come out on Whatnot. We'll probably have it on a couple other platforms as well. And Let's have some fun. Yeehaw!
I love it. Casey, thanks so much for coming on the program today. We appreciate you having you in here, and we appreciate all of you listeners out there for tuning in to another episode of the Business Bear Podcast. Be sure to follow us on our Garrett County, Maryland Department of Business Development on Facebook. We've got an Instagram now. Be sure to follow us there. We've got an X or Twitter, whatever Elon's calling it these days, and be sure to follow us on LinkedIn for all of the latest happening in your business community, including when future episodes of the Business Bear Podcast drop. Folks, it's Connor Norman here. I'll see you all on the other side.